Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a beautiful Pokemon card. And this is officially a beautiful Pokemon card. You see, a little while ago, I told you about a competition that was happening over in Japan. And the competition basically was, hey, do you want to become a Pokemon trading card game artist? Now, there was no guarantee that you would be able to become an artist if you won, and it ended in March with very little hearing from then to now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there were 5,343 entries, and the winner, this Gardevoir card. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we can all agree, oh my goodness, this is a beautiful, beautiful card. And what's really cool, this is now an official Pokemon card. This is a real Pokemon card that you can go and get over in Japan. It is being revealed and given out at all Pokemon centers from the 4th of October until as soon as it is gone. The website says implementation period, October the 4th to ends as soon as it is gone. And what happens is if you buy 5 packs of the Pokemon trading card game, you will be given one of these. Now, you can only have a maximum of 4, which is fair, of course, because 4 is the maximum you can have in a deck as a playset. So this is very, very cool. We don't have any word as to whether this is going to lead to a job for the artist in question. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. The only thing we really do know is that this is a real official Pokemon card, which is going to be legal for tournament play. It is being released as a proper promo card, and it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, look, I know art is subjective, but I'm hoping we can all look at this card and go, oh yeah, that's why it won. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Although, honestly, what I really want is a gallery of all 5,343 entries, because I'm willing to bet that there are plenty of others that are just beyond wonderful. But it is a new Pokemon card, so we should have a little bit of a look or whether it's actually any good, or whether it's just going to go down as a, oh, cool. Just a cool little curiosity. So, we do have a Stage 2 Gardevoir, and it has 130 HP, which is very low for a Stage 2 nowadays. You know, the example I often give is that Dragonite in the Pokemon Sun and Moon base set had 160, kind of reshaped our expectations. And then years later to be getting 130 HP. No. Now, the most recent Gardevoir we had was in Lost Thunder, and to be fair, that one had 130 HP, so I suppose it makes sense, but still pretty gosh darned bad. Retreat cost of 2 also sucks because it's not low enough to use U-turn board to get free retreat, not high enough to use buff padding to get extra HP. Resistance to darkness is pretty nice. It's nice to have a resistance. Honestly, there aren't many darkness Pokemon seeing a huge amount of play at the moment. Something like Hooper is, but Hooper wasn't going to get a one-hit KO anyway, because if you've got 6 Pokemon in play with abilities, Hooper's hitting 130, but Gardevoir doesn't have an ability, so it was never going to get a one-hit KO. And weakness to Metal's kind of nice, because Metal's just not that relevant at the moment. If I'm honest with you, it's just not out there. So that's kind of nice. Being a fairy Pokemon, however, is great. You've got the fairy charms, like Fairy Charm ability, that gives you immunity from Mewtwo and Mew and the new Naganadel, etc., etc. So it's a good time to be a fairy Pokemon. We also, of course, do have Wonder Labyrinth Prism Star to increase your opponent's attack cost. And we're hitting weakness against dragon Pokemon like the aforementioned Naganadel and like the upcoming Reshiram and Zekrom. It's a really good time to be a fairy Pokemon. We've mentioned that a couple times recently, but I do think that bears repeating. So what does it actually do? Well, our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, who incidentally did enter this competition as well with what I believe strongly is a stunning entry. I'm not going to put it in the video because I haven't got their permission, but I will link it in the description / pin a comment. You know, if Anton gets back to me and says, yeah, okay, you can, but I'm not going to do so without permission. That just seems a little bit rude. There we go. So anyway, where were we? Yes. 1 fairy, 1 colourless, 130 damage, heal 30 HP, and all special conditions from this Pokemon. Well, that's kind of nice. Except, is it really? Because if you're paralysed, you can't attack. So there's no getting rid of paralysis here. And if you're asleep, you can't attack. And if you're confused, you have to flip in order to attack. So it's not really getting rid of all special conditions. Now, I will say that if you are confused and you flip aheads, you will then no longer be confused. If you are poisoned, you will no longer be poisoned. If you are burned, you will no longer be burned. But you still have to flip for confusion before you even do the attack. And you can't use it if you're paralysed, and you can't use it if you're asleep. So it's not exactly that fair to say it heals all special conditions. Yes, it will get rid of poison. Yes, it will get rid of burn. Yes, it will get rid of confusion if you flip heads and actually work the attack. Remember, if you flip for confusion and flip tails, the attack fails and you take 30 damage, so you don't get to go, oh, well, I don't do damage, but I heal special conditions. No, the attack does nothing. So yes, it does heal special conditions, but I'm not entirely buying it. Here's the thing, though. I actually do kind of like this for one very good reason. If we look at the fairy charms, it says prevent all damage done to the fairy Pokemon this card is attached to by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon GX and EX that will have abilities for Fairy Charm ability, are Dragon type for Fairy Charm Dragon, etc. So what you might find is that your opponent cannot do any damage, but they're sitting there mucking around with special conditions. So we have Fairy Charm Psychic. Okay. That gives you immunity from stuff like Muck and Alolan Muck. I pulled the alternate art of this from Prize Packs from a side event I entered recently, so yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's go for that one. So it cannot damage you, but it can, for instance, use Severe Poison. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. Put 8 damage count instead of 1 on that Pokemon between turns. Now, they won't be able to use Poison Absorption to do 120 damage, but they will be able to use the first attack to poison you. You'll take 8 damage counters between turns, and then Poison Absorption won't KO you, because they won't do any damage, but they will heal 100, and I've actually played this with some non-GX decks online and not been able to KO it, because even though they can't do anything, I played against it with Hooper, the old one that, again, they couldn't attack it, but what they could do is poison me and keep healing up, and I wasn't doing enough damage. Well, here, you take 8 damage counters from poison, but you then do 130, you heal 30, you get healed from poison, so you don't get KO'd between turns, and they cannot potentially heal up with Poison Absorption. So I kind of like it for that. It's kind of expensive, but you'd probably be playing it in a Gardevoir and Sylveon deck or something similar that accelerates energy. So it's not the end of the world. And the 130 damage does mean it will get the majority of non-GXs, weaker ones like Zapdos, but also going up to stuff like Naganadel that sees a fair amount of play. So you're doing a decent amount of damage, and I do like the extra effect of the attack, especially when paired with Fairy Charm, but it is a stage 2 for free energy, so we do need to very much bear that in mind. Now, of course, we do have Gardevoir and Gallade that both evolve from the same evolution line, which is very cool. And we do have the Gardevoir from Lost Thunder, with which we compare it, which can do 160 for free energy, which isn't bad. It's not terrible, but it's all right. And we don't actually have a Gallade at the moment, but we are getting a Gallade in Cosmic Eclipse, which has an ability making it both Psychic and Fighting type. And incidentally, the two of them together mean you'll be hitting weakness on Reshiram and Zekrom, and Mewtwo and Mew, and Pikachu and Zekrom. They're three really good weaknesses to be hitting. Just add in something to hit Reshiram and Charizard and you're hitting all the main weaknesses. And for 2 colourless energy, but don't forget triple acceleration energy is a thing, which can be used with evolving Pokemon, you do 120 damage, and then move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched. So maybe you can combine the 3 of them into a deck. Either way, I'm giving this new Gardevoir 3 Wassies. It's actually quite a nice card, but it is once again completely undone by the fact that it's a stage 2 for free energy. That kind of ruins it. But I would be very excited to know what you think about this card, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would you? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.